Okay, the first thing you're going to be asking is, why the hell am I doing a top 50 whenever 50 is totally a huge and obscure number to go by, so why the hell am I even doing that? And the simple answer to that is, fuck your face. Because top 10s are so overrated, and I'm just going to do a top 50 because I feel like it. But it's not really a top 50 because, in my opinion, I only have a top 5 manga. And everything else is below that and not really numbered. So think of this as a top 5, but with 50 manga shown. So, well, 51 different manga series shown, as you'll see. So without any further ado, let's get on with it with the first stack of manga, which is behind me. Okay, now this is what I was talking about with 51 manga series for a top 50 video, and that's because I have 2 manga as my favorite manga. Yeah, that's really weird, but I can't decide between the two. It's just not possible. So I'm going to show off both of these series as my number 1 spot, and that is Bleach and Hunter x Hunter. Bleach has been my favorite manga for the first 5 years I've been collecting manga and all, and nothing else ever came close until I started reading Hunter x Hunter. I started reading this, and it's just wow. I've said it in pretty much every video that's featured Hunter x Hunter. Everyone should read it, give it a shot, go out and buy it. It's great. Just take my word for it. It's just great. So these two take my number 1 spot. Okay, now we're on to number 2, and it's the best-selling manga of all time, and that is One Piece. Not much to say about it. Anyone in the manga industry that collects manga knows about it and has probably read a decent amount of it. I'm only in the Thriller Bark arc, though, so I still have a ways to go. Number 3, we have Case Closed. Now, this is definitely one of those manga that aren't really popular here stateside, but I just freaking love it to death. I actually started watching the anime first. I got all 5 seasons of that. Then now I have nearly the first 50 volumes that have come out in America. And I just love it. I'm on volume 22, which is what this one is. Now we're on to number 4. And that is Shijo Sankyo no Deshi Kenichi, or History's Strongest Disciple Kenichi, or Kenichi the Mightiest Disciple if you go by the English anime release. And it's just very, very good. It's about fighting. It probably has the best fight scenes out of pretty much any manga, because a lot of people will debate that with me, but just the way he draws the effects of the fight, he doesn't have the best poses per se, but whenever it comes to the effects of the body movements and all that, it's just very, very good. I'm trying to find a quick example right here to show you. Sure, why not? Here's a bunch of the effects and stuff. Like, it's just really well drawn, and I love the story and all the fan service that comes with it. Let's see here. And we have number 5 with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. This is part 1. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 1, Volume 1. So yeah, JoJo's is great. The second longest lasting manga of all time, with over 108 manga volumes already past that. So it's very good. It's currently on its 8th arc, which is JoJo Leon, which I still haven't made it up to. I'm currently in the 4th arc, which is Diamond is Unbreakable. Number 6, we have Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. I don't have any of the Dragon Ball manga volumes, but this is Dragon Ball Z. And in Japan, it's known as Dragon Ball through the entire 42-volume series. So whenever I refer to Dragon Ball, I'm also including Dragon Ball Z. So yeah, everyone knows about it. It's very good. Number 7, we have Spice and Wolf. Very good. It has some fantasy elements with trade and stuff and politics, and it's a really weird manga. But I guess pretty normal compared to most light novel adaptations. So yeah. Let's see here. What number are we on? We're on number 8. Yeah, 8. And we have Bastard by Kazushi Hagiwara. This is the final volume that came out stateside. It's new, sealed. I haven't opened it. 26 volumes currently out in Japan. There was like a 3-year hiatus where no volumes came out, so whenever 26 came out, I had to get it in Japanese, and I do have it, and now I play the waiting game again for a new volume. Number 9, we have Nanato Kaoru by Ryota Amazume. It's a very good series. I've probably talked about it before. Yeah. And for number 10 on my first stack of manga that I have is Kangoku Gakuen. This is a very good series. I just love it. It's one of the 3 series that I read weekly online and also buy the Japanese volumes. So in order for it to keep me entertained, it's got to be good. So yeah, it's very good and I would recommend reading it. Okay, now that the first stack is out of the way, pretty much everything beyond this is going to be whatever I was walking through in my room and thought, hey, that one was very good. I really like that one, so I'm going to grab it off the shelf. That's pretty much what the other 40 manga are going to be like. So they're not really in any particular order, but they're my top 50. They are in my top 50. And we have To Love Ru and To Love Ru Darkness, which this is a To Love Ru Darkness volume. It's by Hisame Saki and Kentaro Yabuki. Yeah. And it's very, very good. Sadly, we'll never see the manga stateside because Viz is an asshole. Anyway, we have I Love You by Ken Akamatsu. I really love Ken Akamatsu's work, and you're not going to see Love Hina on this list because I didn't really like Love Hina. That's probably his best known series stateside. I tried reading a couple of volumes and it just didn't click, but I love I Love You, and it's very good. Next up we have Chobits by Clamp. This is probably their best work that I've read. Tsubasa is very good, Holic is okay, but Clamp is probably the best work they've had that I've read. Missions of Love, Volume 3. It's a great shoujo title. When I say great, I mean it's just very, very great. Like, I've only read probably no more than 10 shoujo series, but this one's probably my favorite shoujo. I like it better than Vampire Knight. I like Skip Beat a lot, but I don't have enough of that to really put it on the list. But I love Missions of Love. Next up, we have Buso Renken by Nobuhiro Watsuki. Again, Viz is an asshole because they're not bringing out his newer work here, which is Embalming the Another Tale of Frankenstein. But anyway, this one's a very good one. I really liked it. Yeah, whatever. Next up, we have Nagima by Ken Akamatsu again. My second favorite series by Ken Akamatsu, and it recently concluded here stateside a few months back, I believe, with volume 38. Next up, we have Berserk. I don't have I have a lot of Berserk, but I'm missing a lot of volumes, so I can't sit down and storm read through it. But I've seen the anime, and I have all the trilogy of movies for the Golden Age arc, and I just really love this series by Kentaro Miura. He's a god of manga, by the way. Black Butler by Ken Akamatsu. This is, well, not Ken Akamatsu, Kentaro Yabuki. Black Cat by Kentaro Yabuki, and it was done before To Love Ru, and he had 2 series in between this and To Love Ru, and his art definitely changed a lot by then. Next up, we have Rurouni Kenshin, one of the cult classics here stateside. I have nearly the entire manga, and I've read most of it, and I really, really like the series, but I don't know. If I were to sit down and read through it again, it probably wouldn't be as good as it was the first time reading it. It's really weird, but this is one of those manga that were good for the time, I believe, but comparing it to a lot of the stuff that was also around back then and stuff that's around now, it's just, I don't think it would be as good. Next up, we have Ranma 1/2 or Ranma Half by Rumiko Takahashi. This is my favorite series by her. Like, most people go to Inuyasha or something, but I like Ranma a lot more. In fact, you won't even see Inuyasha on this list because I didn't think that highly of like the first 2 volumes of Inuyasha. Alright, here we go. We have Death Note. Now, I haven't read the manga. I haven't watched the anime. But I have seen the live-action movies, and I thought it was very good. I've read Volume 10 and Volume 12 of the manga because those were the first 2 volumes I bought back whenever I didn't have enough money to buy everything I wanted. But I bought the box set like 2 years back, and I still haven't read the manga yet, and I haven't watched the anime, though I did watch the Relight movies, and I have seen the live-action movies. We have Eragir by Ogreat or Ogura Ito. Definitely one of his better works, I would say. I've read a bunch of his Silky Whip stories and stuff, and they're not really that good, but they're okay. Eragir is probably my second favorite series of his. I like Tenjo Tenge a lot more. Bloody Monday, Volume 7. Well, Bloody Monday. It's a series kind of similar to Death Note, and I really like it, and it's dark, and a lot of people die. There, I'm not spoiling it, I just said people was going to die. I didn't say who. Kurohime. This one's definitely one of the most underrated shonen titles that have come over stateside. Though it got canceled at Volume 13, very pissed off at Viz for that. You're going to hear me bash Viz throughout this whole video, but they really do suck at things. Too bad they're like the best publisher here stateside. Yeah, so this is a very good underrated manga series, so if you were to ever get your hands on it, I would definitely recommend buying it. Here we have Naruto. I've read volumes 1 through 15, and then 28 to like, I don't know, 60 something. And I really like Naruto a lot. It's very good. A lot of people like to bash it stateside because the fandom is just so big and Naruto fans go apeshit. But whenever you get over that, whenever you get over the fact that the fans go apeshit, you realize Naruto is solid, it's good, and it's concluding quite nicely, I think so. Now we have Dragon Drive by Kenichi Sakura. This is one of the very first manga I ever bought stateside, and it's a rather childish manga because you have people with dragons, so it's kind of like Pokemon in a bit. It's kind of like a combination between Pokemon and Digimon, I think. It's been a long time since I've read it, but it's 14 volumes long, and it's very, very good. Very childish, though, but still good. Next up, we have Claymore. Sadly, I've only read the first 5 volumes of this, because that's all I've bought, but I have watched the entire anime. I don't really, per se, like the ending of the anime, because it's a filler ending, but it is very good. Like, the manga is very good, and it's definitely very well drawn. I love different styles, and he definitely has a unique style to his artwork. Next up, we have Haganai, I Don't Have Many Friends. Yeah, I'm pretty sure anyone that's been watching anime in the last like 3 years or so has probably watched this anime and knows what it's about. Well, the manga is, I really hate to say this, but the manga is not as good as the anime. It's one of those rare occasions where I like the anime more. I've watched the anime, I've been reading the manga as it comes out, and I don't know. I really enjoy the manga, but the anime it's one of those rare occasions where I like the anime more. Next up, we have Gunblaze West by Nobuhiro Watsuki. It's 3 volumes long, got canceled. It's really short, but it's decent. Like, it's solid. Like, it leaves you wanting a lot more, but it does good for what it does in the 3 volumes. Next up, we have D-Gray Man by Katsura Hoshino, which is a female mangaka. So, yeah, that's kind of odd, right? Seeing females draw the shonen manga style so well, but this is a very solid series. Like, it's about Exorcist, Alan Walker, and all that jazz, and it's very good. I've only read like the first 13 volumes or so, but I really liked it. Alright, let's keep this going with Medaka Box. I've only read the first 9 chapters, but I really, really like this series. I have the first 17 volumes in Japanese, but it's very, very good. Like, it's very funny. Like, if you're looking for series that goes from like gag into action, like, this is a very good series. It's like Medaka Kurokami, like, she is very, very funny in this series. Next up, we have Okusan. Really like this one, though. Most people probably know it from the doujinshi about it, because the doujinshi is actually what got me into it. I started seeing doujinshi pop up about the series, and I started reading the series. And I really like the series, though only the first volume is translated online, so yeah, you'll have to know Japanese to read the rest of the volumes and import them from Japan, or you can find the raws online, that works too. Next up, we have Deers. I've probably talked about this series a couple of times and said how it's pretty much an alien version of Clamp's Showbits. It's really similar to that with the first volume, in my opinion, and it's very good. I really like it. One of Peach Pit's better works, but yeah, it's good. Next up, we have Kashimashi, Girl Meets Girl. It's one of those very good Yuri series. We don't get many Yuri series stateside. We get a lot of yaoi, but we don't get really any Yuri at all. So if you're a fan of Yuri, get your hands on this because you won't be disappointed. Next up, we have Attack on Titan. It's Attack on Titan. Next up, we have Oh My Goddess. This is one of those series that have been going on since the 80s and has a cult following that is like out of this world, though I'm not sure how the manga is still going on here stateside. Like, I think we're up to date with Japan, but I never see anyone own this series in any collection video I've seen. I've never seen anyone own like the entire manga. So I don't know how it's continued without getting canceled. It must have a cult following here as well. Next up, we have Ninja Girls. It's a very good series with a lot of fan service, quite a bit actually. That's one of the reasons I started reading this series and picked it up. It's because of fan service. It's 9 volumes long. I have the first 3 volumes, and that's about all I can remember about it is the fan service. Next up, we have Battle Vixens or Ikitosen. If you've watched the anime, you did a big no-no. That's a terrible idea, is to watch the anime. It butchered the hell out of the manga. Like, this is definitely one of those reasons why I prefer manga. Like, if you've watched the anime, the manga is so different. Like, you don't even know unless you've seen and read both of them and can compare. But it's just terrible, the anime is, compared to the manga. But the manga is decently solid. I love Yuji Shiozaki, and I love his other works too, like Go Death. And I believe he started up a new one recently in Japan. Don't quote me on that, though. Next up, we have Yuria 100 Shiki. It's about love dolls. But why is it about love dolls? It's about love dolls that come to life, and it's got a lot of fan service. It's probably one of the most explicit seinen series out there. Like, if you think To Love Ru has a lot of fan service and shows a lot, this definitely has To Love Ru beat. Next up, we have another Ryuta Amazume work, and that is Bra Girls. I remember reading this, and it was like one of the best 8 chapters of my life. I love this series. Like, I just love it. I don't even care if you go and read it online, because that's the only way you're going to get it unless you know Japanese. But go and read it online. It's called Bra Girls or Swing Girls, and you can find it on probably every scan site. So just go and read it. You'll love it. I loved it. Okay, now we're down to the final 10, so let's see what is near the bottom. And we have A Tomcat by Osamu Tezuka. I remember reading this earlier this year, and it was just, wow, I loved it. Like, I haven't read many of Tezuka's works, sadly, but this is definitely one of his better works that I have read. Like, there's the Book of Human Insects. Like, I've read halfway through that, and it's good, but it's really weird, and you have to have a special interest for it. But this, it's really fun to read. Each chapter just stands alone, and it's very great. I would recommend it to anyone that loves a good laugh and action and that classic manga style. Next up, we have Batum, Volume 4. I think Volume 5 is out. I think I have Volume 5, actually. I don't know. It's, anyone watch Battle Royale or read Battle Royale or pretty much any series where you put a bunch of teenagers and adults to kill each other? Yeah, well, that's what this is. But it's great, so I love it. Next up, we have Love and Hell. This is one of those random series I picked up in a bookstore one day, read the first volume, and fell in love. Totally pissed off that it got canceled at 3 volumes. It could have lasted 10 to 12 volumes at least. I really hope this mangaka comes out with more series because he is definitely great, and it should not have been canceled in Japan. Next up, we have Bakuman. It's Bakuman. It's about making manga. It's Bakuman. Next up, we have A Certain Scientific Railgun. I read the first volume, I think, like 2 years ago, and I just started buying it again and reading it again. And psychics and girls and lesbian girls and psychics, and I don't know. It's good. Next up, we have a very, very overrated series, in my opinion. I'm going to come under some heat for this, but Fairy Tail is not that good. I don't care how much of the anime you've seen. Unless the anime has... I haven't seen any of the anime. I've read 20 volumes of the manga, which is a decent amount. That's like half of what's out right now in Japan. And sure, it's good, but it doesn't deserve all the praise and fan it gets. There are so many more underrated series that are better. It's just, it's very good, but I believe the fan base, this is like one of those Naruto things that make people stay away from Naruto and hate Naruto. Well, this is one of those occasions, except Naruto is better than Fairy Tail. And I don't know, I've read the first 20 volumes, and there's only been like one heart-throbbing moment for me that actually got to me, got under my skin, and that's Urza's backstory. Unless the anime has like 2 or 3 filler seasons, and those filler seasons are actually better than the actual story, I don't really see how it has the fandom it has. Don't get me wrong, I'm a huge Hiro Mashima fan. I really like Rave Master, but I just really don't know about this one. Fairy Tail, it just, like, I had such high expectations for this manga. Like, I was expecting another One Piece. You go and read the first 20 volumes of One Piece, and you're guaranteed to cry like 5 times, or watch the first, I don't know, like 5 or 6 seasons, and it gets to you. There are so many moments in that. But Fairy Tail, 20 volumes in, and I only have 1 moment to remember. Yeah, it's just... Next up, we have Hikaru no Go. It's one of those really weird manga that are just very, very good, actually. It's about the Japanese game called Go, which is about territory. And after reading like the first 14 volumes of this manga, like, I really like it. And I had to go out and buy a Go board and start playing Go myself because it's just a very fun read. Next up, we have the only horror series on this list, I believe. And sadly, I don't really have any horror series to read because I haven't bought any yet. But anyway, this is Portis. Anyone ever watched The Ring or The Grudge? Of course you have. This is kind of a video game version of that, where anyone who plays this game like dies or something. I don't know. It's been about 3 years since I bought this and read it, but it's very good. And it did get under my skin for a manga. For a manga to get under your skin, it's definitely something. Anime definitely has an easier time with horror series in order to scare you because it can jump at you and it has music. But with manga, it's a still image, so it's got to be terrifying in order to get to you. I'm talking Kentaro Miura or Uzumaki, like that or something. Next up, we have Rosario Vampire. You watch the anime? Shame on you, it's terrible. But the manga is... I used to think it was a lot better. I read the first 10 volumes. It still is good, but it's not as good as I originally thought it was. I go back and I look at it and it's like, well, the art really isn't that good earlier in the series. And just the stories just repeat and repeat, and it's basically Mocha's the shit and everyone else sucks. And I don't know. Later on it gets a lot better, but I'm talking about like the first, earlier on in the series. It's not really that good, and I'm surprised it didn't get canceled in Japan. And the last thing we have on the list is Zombie Powder by Tite Kubo, or Tite Kubo, or Taito, whatever the fuck his real name is. It's a really good series. I really wish it wouldn't have got canceled, but I kind of am glad it did, because after this got canceled, it led him to create Bleach, which is definitely a very, very good series that I really enjoy. But yeah, it's very good, and I really love all the one-shots in the back of the last 3 volumes, and I really hope he continues this later on one day, though I'm pretty sure after Bleach he is done with manga for good. And there you have it. That's my top 50 manga. How many people unsubscribed during the duration of this video? How many people did I piss off? Looking forward to that, actually. So, yeah, until the next time, I will see you later.